Hi, I'm Randy Van Wagner, president of Mohawk Valley Community College, and I'm here with Claire Rudka, who started working at the college in 1977. And after 5 years working as a stenographer in continuing education, she took a hiatus and came back to the college in 2008 as an office professional, in CCED and counseling, and then spent her last 10 years at the college as an enrollment associate, which was a first generation job that she really took to heart and finished her career those last 10 years when she retired in 2019. So Claire, thanks so much for helping MVCC celebrate 75 years.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And so tell me about how you first came to work at the college, then maybe secondarily how you came to work at the college.
Well, after I graduated from SUNY Morrisville in 1977, I came back to the college. I interviewed, and my first interview was with Rudka Armstrong, and she was amazing. I did get hired, and I worked in CCD, and that was my step back into the college, back into the college world. And then from there, I did go over to the Student Services Center, where I was a stenographer once again. And I worked in the counseling center and the Student Services Center office. From there, I went into the enrollment associate position out at the help desk, okay, in the center of Payne Hall. And that's where I retired from.
Yeah, and that help desk, that function, so in 2010, the advising center physically was there about 10 years after the remodel in Payne Hall. But before students, it was just kind of a part-time, and the position would kind of triage students a little bit to the different offices and things. But the enrollment associate, you were kind of trained in everything for the most part. A little financial aid, a little bursar, a little registrar, counseling and advising. So talk about that position a little bit, and maybe some memories that stand out for you that kind of characterize what MVCC means to you, or memories that just stay with you for one reason or another.
Well, the best part of the enrollment associate position, I had the opportunity of working with the work study and the student assistants. I would hire them. And the best part of that was some of them would stay for the full 2 years they were at the college. So I got to start training them from day one as how to deal with students, how to deal with faculty and staff and administration. And it was a challenge, but yet it was so rewarding because some of the students couldn't make phone calls. They couldn't answer the phone. They didn't know how to do their timesheets. And so I just more or less every day went over everything with them, and they all caught on very quickly, and they excelled in their position because when the lobby got very busy, we all tagged off each other. We would go and help around the computers, and we would, if one didn't know how to do this, they would get me and we would tag out different students. And it was great because everybody was helped that way. And like you said, it was financially, business office, admissions, problems, photo IDs, which are all daunting to these new students coming in.
Yeah.
The best time of the year was the fall when the new students would come in. I always loved that when they came through the doors. You would see the deer in the headlights when they came in, and I just automatically, the mom in me wanted to fix everything for everybody. And I actually enjoyed doing that. One funny story was picture the lobby being full of students. I mean, full of students. And I was the only one on, and I just turned around and I, at the top of my voice says, if you need help, please raise your hand. I'll get to you as soon as possible. Well, in the back of the lobby, there's Jim Mayo walking across the back of the lobby. And as soon as I said, if you need any help, please raise your hand, Jim walked by and he raised his hand. And I happened to catch it, and I lost it. I burst out laughing. Here I'm trying to be professional. I burst out laughing and I said, Jim, there's no help for you. And the students all caught on to it, and the students all started laughing. So there was a tension breaker of a very full lobby. Yeah,
that had to be because you were in that role during the kind of the back end of the Great Recession when
Mhm.
enrollment at the college was growing like 10 and 12% a semester, and
Yes.
the cars were lined up down Sherman Drive the first week of
Mhm.
classes, and parking, we had a parking task force because we couldn't fit everybody. And there you are at the help desk with students just
It was
filling
wonderful. I
the
loved
room.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. And those student workers you talked about, I just remember so often when I would come down, you would introduce me to them, and, it was that classic pathway to professionalism where they're shaking my hand and looking me in the eye. And,
Yeah,
you were training them up well beyond
always.
just helping a student. They were growing
And
themselves.
the best part, Randy, is I do keep in touch with many of them. And
Uh,
they have all gone on. One just got hired at Central Valley as an elementary teacher, and she
wow.
started at MV. Okay. Um, Numerous. I meet one girl every year when I'm on vacation. We go up to where she is and we meet for lunch. And it's like time hasn't passed.
Oh
We
my
just start
goodness.
talking. It's just amazing. So I built many relationships with the student workers.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, at the help desk, you saw just a vast majority of students, from the honor students to the students who, GED just coming in,
Yeah.
and everything in between.
The
Um,
ESL students, we saw quite a bit, and that was a challenge, but we got through it. And my
yeah.
student workers that I hired, they were, you wouldn't believe how many bilingual students we had.
Yeah.
And they were able to help me communicate, and they knew when to come in when that student worker was working. And between the three of us, we would get it all figured out.
Yeah. And so are there any student stories that stick out as you came through, as they came through the help desk? Um, any students that, were truly on the brink, like if it wasn't for that conversation, they might have easily turned around and never enrolled?
Well, a lot of the students would lose their schedules because their financial aid wasn't complete. And it took some digging to figure out what they didn't have in and what they had to get in. And then we had to get them back into their classes because their schedules were lost. So it was just, we had many students like that. And my heart went out to them because they don't understand. In high school, they didn't do anything like this, financial aid, scheduling, and. So it was all new to them. So it was just trying to walk them through baby steps to get them to where they were back in
Yeah.
classes.
Yeah. Very good. And as you think of, I mean, you interacted with all those different offices down there,
Mhm.
and just the, the activities, and you were involved outside, even as heavy as the role was with enrollment associate and needing to staff that desk. You found ways to get involved in committees and other
Yes.
activities.
Mhm.
Any of those activities or experiences stand out for you?
Leadership committee, I thoroughly enjoyed. I went through the leadership program for the 2 years, and that was eye-opening to me because, like you said, I got outside the help desk area, and
Yeah.
I was more into the academic side of it now. That was very, very rewarding. The so once I
Because
did that, go
the
ahead.
leadership academy, the
Mhm.
in-house leadership academy, you were in one of the first classes of that.
Yes.
And
And then I
the,
went on to be on the leadership academy, the
as like
team itself.
the alumni
Yes,
rep, if you will, to help kind of shape the experience for future
yes.
cohorts.
And so everybody that, was followed up on the leadership academy after that, they knew I was always at the help desk. And if they had any questions or concerns, they knew they could find me at the help desk.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I would relate the questions back to the rest of the committee. So
Hmm.
it was nice because I got to deal with my co-workers much more closely.
Yeah. Yeah. So a 5-year stint, an 11-year stint, 16 years working at the college. Um, eh, what made you stay all those years?
I would say it was the community aspect of the college. While I worked mainly with the students, I did feel part of the community and, as in the administration, the faculty. and just working with other offices on campus and bringing us all together so we could all work side by side. That was the best part. It made me feel part of the community, whole community
Yeah.
as a whole.
Oh, great. Well, Claire Rudka, thank you so much for helping MVCC celebrate 75 years.
Thank you very much, Randy.